Do you believe that your child cannot manage anything without you? Do you hesitate to take a break and go because your child has exams or your child has a submission and you feel that your child cannot do it by himself or herself? Then this video is for you. I am Riri Trivedi. I am a regression therapist, a trainer and a parenting coach. And today I am going to be talking about the fifth guideline of positive parenting, which is the importance of giving age appropriate independence to our children. We as parents find it very easy to believe that we are the most important part in our children's life and our children cannot do without us. And it feels very good also to know this and to feel that without me my child cannot function, if I am not around my child cannot manage the meals, my child cannot study, etc. And it may not even make us feel good, but sometimes it is just the need that we have to make sure that our children are safe. As parents, from the time that our children are born, we are conditioned to make decisions for them, to control their lives. And we continue to believe that our children are not capable of doing things themselves or making their own decisions, because we get used to making decisions for them and controlling their lives long after it is not required. And so we see so many parents who are continuing to interfere in their child's education, study habits, in the food choices, in their clothes choices, in their friendships, and also in their marriages long after the children have become adults. This also has probably to do with our Indian culture and the conditioning that we have, that parents are a part of the unit, family unit. But having said that, from the development of the child, from the perspective of the child and the well-being of the child, it is extremely important for parents to know that children need to be given and need to be taught age-appropriate independence. We must first understand why parents cannot give this freedom. One is, like I said, because parents innately believe that children cannot be trusted. They cannot be trusted to make their own decisions, they cannot be trusted to choose their own food, they cannot be trusted to choose their own friends because they don't know any better. And hence, parents find it very hard to allow children to make these choices. The second reason also is that parents just get used to making all the decisions for the child and they think that that is love. So a lot of times parents believe that they love the children and hence because of the love they need to micromanage the child, take care of the child and make sure that they manage everything for the child and the child does not need to do anything. So a lot of times we cannot give independence because we think this is love. And the third reason is parents have their own fears. They are fearing about the child's safety. They are afraid that the child, if the child is let alone, somebody will kidnap the child or somebody will molest the child. So a lot of times parents' own insecurity and trust issues or doubts and trust on the environment prevents the parent from making the child independent. Many times parents who themselves have been brought up by parents who have been negligent, who have not been very involved, also try to compensate or overcompensate rather by being overly involved with their children because they want to give their children what they did not get as children. So I know many parents who say that, well, from a very young age I was independent, I was doing everything by myself, my parents never bothered about me and hence I don't want my child to feel unloved or uncared for. So today I make sure that I do everything for my child. When my child is back from school, I am there. My own personal example in this is that both my parents were working and I was raised to be a very fairly independent child. So I would come home, open the door, heat up my own food even when I was as young as 6 years old, and I would just manage things by myself, finish my homework till my mom came. But I saw that other mothers were literally hovering over their children and taking care of everything. So when I became a mother myself, I made sure that when my kids came from school, I was always there for them and with a hot meal. So what I'm trying to say is, as parents, even our own programming and conditioning will determine how much of independence we are able to give our children. Why is it important to give age appropriate independence? Because if we want our child to be emotionally resilient, if we want our children to be able to cope up with the challenges that the environment faces, then the best way to start preparing them is from home itself. Because what happens with parents is that till the children are staying with them, the parents take care of everything. And then when the child leaves the home, either to go to a hostel or to go for higher studies, suddenly now the child is expected to be independent. So from 0 to 100. And that is where these children oftentimes completely fail, fall down, go into depression, panic, and they cannot survive because they have not experienced being independent from an early age. And human brain is such that it takes time to wire it. So if from childhood, if your child has not done anything himself or herself, not managed his or her homework, not managed their clothes, not managed their friendships, everywhere the parents have always been there, then these children find it extremely hard when they are left by themselves, even when they are 20 or 25. Another problem also happens is that in Indian families is that when children have not been given independence from early on, when these children become teenagers or adults and they have their own families or their own partners, the parents still continue to interfere in their lives. And this leads to a lot of anger and resentment. Because once the children are adults, they do want to make their own decisions. And especially when an external person has come, like a wife or a husband, obviously too much of dependence on the parents may not be acceptable. And hence these are all the reasons why as parents we need to understand how important it is to teach independence to children from an early age. A lot of parents will say, well, does that mean that I let my 3-year-old eat whatever he or she wants, or should I let my 5-year-old go to school alone? Obviously not. One has to use your common sense and judge your environment to decide at what age your child can do what. But I do have a separate video where I will be sharing age appropriate tasks that your child can do independently, and I hope that you make sure you see that video so that you can get a complete guideline on what are broadly the tasks that your child can do for himself or herself and for the family at an early age. Indian families also, it is very common that we have house help, right? So most of us who are reasonably well off, we have people in the house who manage the daily household chores like doing the dishes, cleaning the floors, cooking the food, doing the beds, etc. And this is also one of the reasons why Indian children growing up in India also do not learn to be independent when it comes to their own life, like doing the dishes or cooking their own food or folding their own clothes. As a parent, I would like to share my own journey with making my children independent. Well, they were brought up in Japan, which is a very safe place. So when it came to going to school alone, my daughter was probably the first in her class to cycle alone to school at the age of 5 because it was a safe environment. My children also traveled alone from Japan to India when they were 9 and 5, of course with the support of the airline staff, but they were totally alone, and this was the time when there were no mobile phones also. So these were some of the areas where as a parent I had to be very tough. I had to put aside all my worst case scenarios. I had to go through some anxiety, but I did this to make sure that my children developed the confidence to go alone and to travel alone and to manage themselves without me around. However, one area where I was not able to give them independence was with my younger child. So as long as I was outside of India, my children helped me with doing the dishes, folding the clothes, ironing the clothes, doing the vacuum, etc. But the moment we moved to India, for my own comfort, I had a lot of house help. And that is when I realized that my younger child, who now grew up with a lot of house help, did not see me doing any household work. And because I was not doing household work, there was no way I could convince them to do household work. So that was one area where I see a lot of Indian parents struggle because mothers and fathers themselves are not doing the dishes, cleaning the floors, folding the clothes or cooking. The children also do not learn. And children obviously will only do when they see the parents do, because the children's argument is, if you are not doing, why should we do? So this is another challenge faced by Indian parents when it comes to making children independent. And now looking back, I feel I wish I had insisted that my house help should not do some things and I and my children should do it ourselves, just so that I could teach my children. So these are some of my thoughts on raising independent children. Another very big area that Indian parents find very hard to let go is when it comes to food. I have consistently seen that the Indian mothers are always feeding their children. They are running after their 2-year-olds, 3-year-olds, 5-year-olds, 8-year-olds to feed them, because we have a very strong emotional connect with food, and we believe that if the child does not eat good food and if we don't feed the child, we don't love the child, right? So please do watch my video on the scientific reason why you should not force feed your child. Because when a child, I have made a video on what happens to the child's body when the child is in stress, and hence when you force feed the child or you threaten the child and make the child cry and feed, then whatever food you are giving does not really help. So please do make sure you watch that video that is already there on YouTube on why you should not force feed your children. But force feeding is another area where Indian parents find it very hard to let go. And we have seen that children are not allowed to choose the food that they want to eat, and children are not even allowed to eat by themselves because mothers think that they will make the place very messy. However, I must tell the mothers that it is okay if your child makes a mess. It is okay if your child does not eat food the way you are eating, because the motor skills are not developed. So eating a roti with a sabzi may not be easy for the child. Let the child still continue to make a mess and eat the food himself or herself, because when the child does that, the child learns and develops the skill to eat, just so that there is no mess. If you are going to keep feeding the child is not going to learn either to eat himself or herself. Even if the child may learn to eat himself, the child will not learn when to stop, because the whole understanding of how much food to eat and what kind of food I am eating comes from touching the food, feeling the texture of the food and eating by our own hands. Now, if the mothers are feeding the children, then the children are not getting this intelligence or this insight that the body already has. And by feeding our children continuously, we are systematically killing this intelligence that the children are born with, how much to eat and how much to digest. And hence it is extremely important for Indian mothers to know that it is okay for your child to eat, make a mess, but insist that the child eats himself or herself. It is okay if the child does not eat all the 5 things that are in the plate. The child may eat just 1 or 2 things. That is fine. It doesn't matter. Your child will not suffer on nutrition provided you let the child experiment with food. Give different colors of food, give different textures. And when your children are very small, make meal times a lot of fun. So you can show them the different colors of the food, you can make them feel the texture, ask them to taste, give it a name, teach them vocabulary. So meal times can be fun and creative, and that is how you can have your child develop a healthy relationship with food. But if as a parent you continue to insist what your child should eat, when your child should eat and how much your child should eat, long after the child is old, then the child develops unhealthy relationship with food and it is not good. So just to summarize, I would like to say that remember that the biggest responsibility of a parent when we are raising children is to make them independent. A lot of parents have the insecurity that if my child becomes independent, my child will not connect with me. If my child is not dependent on me, my child will stop loving me. My child will become distant. And because of this fear, parents continue to interfere in the child's life, control the child's life, because they feel that that is how the child will be dependent on them and the child will be connected to them. But this is far from truth. In fact, if you allow your children independence according to their age, which I will share in a separate video, then these are the very children who will become self-confident, emotionally resilient. They will develop problem-solving skills. They will learn how to manage their lives. But that does not mean that they are going to be separated from you. If you have continued to build your connection with them, watch my guideline 1 on building connection with your children and how to build connection. There is a video on that as well. If your connection with your child is intact, then even if your child is extremely independent, the child will continue to be close to you, love you, and in fact respect you for the independence and trust that you have given in your child. Remember, children who have been taught independence from an early age actually learn to trust themselves, because the parents are also trusting them by allowing them to be independent and making their own decisions. Today, my children definitely appreciate one thing about my parenting is that I have given them a lot of exposure and independence, which in the beginning they may have found stressful, but they learned to be on their own. They became so much independent and they are still very close to us because now they look at it with respect. They recognize that this was a life skill they had to learn. So wherever they go in the world, they should be able to manage on their own, they should be able to survive on their own, and they should be able to live confidently and happily. That does not mean they stop loving us. So this is a message I would like to give parents in this guideline, that please focus on age appropriate independence for your child. It is extremely important. In the next video, the part 2 of this video, I will be sharing what are the different age-wise tasks that you can give your children to make them independent. If you have really liked this video and if you agree with my thoughts, do write in the comments below. If you have any questions also, please ask them in the comment. And if you find these videos useful, then make sure you subscribe to my channel, where I share a lot of such videos on parenting guidelines, parenting tips, and common challenges that parents have. Don't forget to subscribe. Don't forget to share this video if you know of any parent who needs to listen to this.